Hello, Warframe sausages! Now, when you just start out at Warframe, you get the chance to pick one of 3 Warframes. I managed to acquire 2 others, which were the other 2 starter frames, the Excalibur, Vault, and Mag. However, there is a pretty cool, incredibly tough, really resilient and fun to use Warframe that you can acquire pretty early on in the game. And it was pretty easy to get it as well, to be perfectly honest. It's this, look, it's the Rhino frame. And it's got a tremendous suite of abilities, and it's incredibly, well, resilient and tanky. So what I'll do is I'll show you exactly the abilities that it's got first of all, and then I'll show you how you can pick it up. Because it's well worth getting if you're a newbie like me. Baby Tennos, we're called, apparently. Yes. So what I found using the old Rhino is that you've got this thing here. These are the abilities, of course, and this is the one that I've been using quite a bit and popping at the start of every single mission because it gives you loads and loads of protection. It's called the Iron Skin, and the Rhino hardens his skin, insulating himself from all damage and gaining an overguard. That's very good. There's a 50 drain on that as well, and you can keep on popping that as you go through the mission, which is a nice little touch, that which makes this frame really good for beginners because it gives you loads of more survivability. So that's grand. The one you also get, well, this is the one you get access to straight away, really, because you get it on rank 2. Look, it's called the Rhino Charge, which means you just leg it at gits and smash them out of the way. It's very entertaining when you land a blow and you can see them flying away, but occasionally I kind of feel myself sort of just like bouncing off them and not knocking anybody back too hard. So it's a little bit hit and miss for me at the moment, this one, but that's probably down to me not understanding how to use it correctly. But it's still good for booshing out of when you're running down a corridor and smashing loads of kits. We're not Knight Rider now, you know, away like 10 pins. That's good too. I like the Rhino Charge. We've got the Roar here, which grants all nearby Warframes increased damage for a short duration. I'll read properly. It's Monday morning, you see, I'm confused. And then we've got a Rhino Stomp as well, which is basically a big area of attack. Rhino Stomps with force sufficient to disrupt time, tumbling enemies around him in stasis. That's the big attack there. Look at that, drains the most of 100. So it's very good. And I've also got a passive on it, this as well. So you emit a shockwave, dealing 100 damage after landing from a great height. So when you plummet down into a big collection of gits, that's good to give them a kick in as you're doing so. And while I'm here, you know what? I've never looked at these. These are the tips. Let's have a look. Rhino is immune to damage during a Rhino Charge. Nice. Cast Rhino Charge on enemies that have been stunned by Stomp for more damage. You stomp them, then charge them, because when they go all around them, it's probably quite easy to charge them because they're all standing there. Cast Iron Skin before Rhino Charge to increase the blast damage dealt to enemies. My god, so you can do all 3. They all link to each other. Rhino Charge in quick succession to reduce its energy cost and double its damage and range. That's interesting. Iron Skin prevents stasis effects as slash and knockdowns. See, it's really useful. Iron Skin scales off both ability, strength, and armor mods, and the damage absorbed when cast determines its overguard. Right, okay. Cast Iron Skin when taking heavy damage to convert more damage into its total overguard. So the more damage you're taking, the more overguard you've got. Iron Skin's remaining overguard total is displayed next to Rhino's health bar, which watch for when it gets low to recast when it runs out. I can see there's a timer on it, and you can see an overlay on the health bar as well, because you've got your red health, you've got your blue shield, and then there's like a grey-greeny overlay on top, which is the Iron Skin. You can cast Roar when allies are within the ability radius to ensure they do not miss out on its damage, increasing, well, that's obvious. And keep enemies affected by Stomp suspended in the air longer with ability duration mods. Very useful. Now, at the moment, I'm still in the auto-install of the mods phase, but you can see what they mean by increasing the ability. So have a little look here, what have I got here? I got Stretcher, which gives me ability range, increases the ability range there, which is pretty good. I've got Intensify, so the ability strength is increased there. So these are the kinds of mods which are going to really help you out. It's that, of course, this applies to all abilities, but it's pretty handy for the old Rhino here. Ability duration, look for continuity. I'm adding that as well. I might even add that up a little bit. Let's have a little look how much that's going to cost me. 480 endo. Yeah, why not? I just sold a load of mods, duplicate mods, so I got quite a bit more endo there now. So I'm going to apply that fusion to top that off. Excellent. So that's quite nice to get the ability duration and effect to last a bit longer. But of course, I find that when you do, if you're still like me, I've only been playing it for a few weeks. I think I've got about 75, 80 hours in it now. So I'm understanding things a lot more. But of course, there's so many mods. These ones are probably the best ones to put in to get the best out of your Rhino frame first of all. And you can see as well, like I'm currently at rank 16, so I need to get that baby up to 30, so I'm going to be using this as much as possible in my upcoming streams and gameplay. So don't forget, if you want to watch me play this live, I'm doing it pretty regularly at the moment. You can see me on twitch.tv/timesausages, or of course on this channel on YouTube as well. Marvellous. Now, in order to get the Rhino frame, I don't know if you know how to farm for Warframes, but there's particular battles that will give you the various things that you need in order to create frames. Now, the battle that you need to sort of farm, which means fight over and over again, it didn't take me that long. It's this one here on Fossa, which is on Venus, and you're killing a target called the Jackal. Now, I think I played it about 4 times, and I had every single part that I needed. So it's not that hard to farm this, but before we jump into that as well, the first thing you need to do is to actually buy the blueprint for the frame, okay? So you just want to go into search here, press L, I'm pressing L3 there, and I just typed in a Rhino, and then it's I think it's 35,000 credits to buy the blueprint. Let's just check in here. Yes, there you go, 35 grand for the blueprint. You can buy the frame outright if you want to, if you're platinum rich, but buying the blueprint, all you need to do is make sure you've got the credits, the gallium, we need the systems, the Rhino systems, the chassis, and the new optics as well. Now those you get from completing the Jackal fight, okay? And then once you've got them all, then you just go and create it in the machine. But I'll show you how I created the suit after I've given you a few tips on the Jackal fight itself, which isn't too bad. Now, you go to the Venus junction, or the Venus planet, rather, not the junction, and you can see it's called Fossa, or Fossa, and then you can see there that Jackal is the boss. So once you get to the location, you just want to run to the marker, and that'll start the boss fight. A little tip for you, though, I'd leave yourself on public so people can join you, because it does seem that loads and loads of people do actually farm this when they want to go and get the Rhino frame. So it's very, very useful to have your team open so people can join you to help. Now then, once you get into the scrap, you'll see that there's this 4-legged git in the middle, okay? Now, when I jumped in, first of all, I didn't really know what was going on because I didn't seem to be doing any damage to it, and then he just kept on dying, and I was going, hooray, and then running through to the end and completing it because I was with 3 or 4 other people who knew exactly what they were doing. However, I didn't, and I like to know how these things work. Well, once I found out what was going on, because at one point there was only 2 of us here, so I had to kind of, you know, make myself work, pay for my keep, so to speak. So, the way the damage works is, you shoot the Jackal legs, and you can see there's damage coming off them there, look. Once you damage the legs so much, he goes into like a second phase, okay? There we go, you can see he folds up into like a floating thing, and then you've got these blue shields, which show you where these red shields are going to go. These shields will damage you. So in order to make sure you don't get damaged by these, what you want to do is run in as close as you can and then just walk around in a circle so they don't blast you. Once you do that twice, he'll drop down from the center. You want to run back in, and then you want to interact with it, whatever your interact button is. It's square on the PlayStation. And once you do that, you will punch him and kick his face in, and then you'll knock off a chunk of his health. You can see he's got 4 health bars up there. Then we go into the same phase again, damage the legs, he goes up. It's best to run in as well so you don't get damaged by those lasers, because if you run further back out, you've got further to travel, if you see what I mean, if you're at the end. But if you're in close to the center of the cross, which these shields are, then you'll be able to keep in them, no problem at all. Once you've done that twice again, he's dropped down again, I've jumped in, I've pressed my attack button, they are bang, and there's one, and there we go. And then we've got 1 more of these attacks to do, and that's him killed. I did find that's what was happening. You can see there, look, it's constantly zeros. I'm thinking, why is that happening? But it's because people damage him so quickly, particularly if you're in there with a lot of higher level players. You just sort of feel swept along a lot of the time. And I found that can happen in Warframe, where you do feel swept along, or you feel a little bit lost and you don't know what's going on. People are doing things and you're there going, well, what's going on? So you don't actually get the experience of seeing the stuff that you need to do. So that can be a little bit irritating. But as you progress and you get a bit tougher, then of course you get to see more. So there we go. That's how I killed that Jackal git. And then you want to do is just make your way to the exit. Make your way quietly to the exit. And then I ran about 3 or 4 times, look, and you can see there, look, I've got the Rhino chassis blueprint, and that was the final part that I needed. It literally didn't take more than about 30 minutes. So if this is your first time building a Warframe, you need to go to your foundry, and then you need to build the individual parts first of all. Now, I got a Rhino chassis, I got the Rhino new optics there. They each took about 12 hours to build, but for the sake of the video, I used my platinum to expedite the build to make sure it could be done faster. So you can see there, look, I got every part that I need, and then then I'm building the actual Rhino Warframe itself. Now, if you leave it to its own devices, it's going to take 2 days, sorry, 3 days, really, to get it built. So don't expect to jump in on it right away, so you want to get that going as quick as possible. But I completed the build without paying 50 platinum, just so I could show you folks, and indeed make this video. So I think it was worth it. I really do. In regard to the platinum, it was definitely worth it for me. But it's one of the suits that I really do like. This, along with Volt, are my two favourite suits at the moment, and I'm really looking forward to opening up the abilities of the Rhino as well, because it's nice and meaty. Yes. But yeah, it's great fun to use, and I can't wait to get stuck into even further. I just finished the second dream, actually, on stream, which is totally brilliant, and I really enjoyed the story of it. In fact, it's the first time in Warframe that I got really engaged in the story. So yes, bravo for that. I'm looking forward to carry on playing. Let me know in the comments about any Warframes that you think new players would find easy or easier to farm, and drop us the comments so we can all have a little look. And if I can find one that's easy to do, I might make another video about it to show people what's what. Because the Warframe community have been so helpful and incredibly generous so far. I really just want to say thank you, folks, for nurturing me through this. It's great, and I'm hoping you find the videos useful as well. And now, if you do want to see more Warframe stuff, don't forget, give me a like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, otherwise you won't have a clue when I pop one out. Yes. Anyway, folks, thank you so much for watching, and I shall speak to you all again very soon. A sausage. Hurt.